Hey everyone, it's Brandon. I know it's been a week, but I'm back and I'm ready to talk about HTPC cases. Now, I'm not sure how many of you are familiar with even what HTPC is. That's just a home theater PC that you build in a small form factor. Specifically, we're talking about Micro-ITX and Mini-ITX computer cases. Now, something I've decided that I kind of want to do for the channel, you guys let me know what you think about it, is do a segment that's called Brandon Buys. You know, I like to do these best of videos. I like to go out and find what the best particular product is on the market and then pretty much buy that product and do a review of it, but also you guys take you guys through an analysis of how I arrived at that conclusion and why I ultimately decided upon a particular product. For this video, I'm going over 6 different ITX and Micro-ITX cases that have a really small footprint in terms of the space that they could take up. What I'm trying to do is build a machine that I can put in my entertainment center that isn't, I don't have that much room. I've got about 6 to 8 inches and I want to be able to fit it there, but then also take this machine to LAN parties. So criteria for me includes the following: a case that has USB 3.0. You know, I do a lot of transferring files using external hard drives that have USB 3. Also, another criteria is it has to have high airflow because it's going to be in a somewhat enclosed area. With HTPC cases, airflow is a huge issue, and if you want your components to last long, then you need airflow. Another criteria for this particular build is it needs to be able to house a graphics card, not necessarily a full-size graphics card, but a pretty big one. Now, ultimately, I decided upon the Cooler Master CM130 for this particular video, but for future videos, hopefully I can put up the write-up and then have you guys vote through Facebook, and then I'll buy that according to what you guys think. So, should be pretty cool. Anyway, here goes. Okay, for this particular build, I chose this is the Cooler Master CM130. Now I'm gonna do an unboxing of this so it won't look so weird on your screen with a slightly better camera. I do have that, but I like to use my webcam because I can do the videos much faster. And you know, in like a 3x5 inch space on your computer, you can't tell much of a difference between you know, like a DSLR camera and your webcam. Anyway, I went with the CM Elite 130. First of all, it's under 50 bucks. Second of all, it comes with two fans. You've got one on the side, it's an 80x15, and then I believe the front is a 120 millimeter fan. And there's just good airflow all throughout. When Cooler Master initially put out the CM120, I think it was back in 2011, there wasn't as much airflow throughout the entire case, especially the back. And it looks like now they've really solved that problem. And I like how it is so small and the shoebox design fits perfectly for me. That being said, any one of these cases I'm going to go over might work for your particular build. It just really depends on what you are looking for. Again, I like the Cooler Master Elite 130. It can house a standard ATX power supply, graphics cards up to 350 millimeters. That's pretty much anything that you want to throw at it. It's got room for all of your drives and really anything that I needed. You can find more information about it in the write-up below, but here's a look at a few more cases that I've been looking at. Another really great case in this particular space is the BitFenix Prodigy. Now this is a little bit bigger height-wise than the Cooler Master CM130. The dimensions for this are about 10 inches by 14 inches and 10 inches by 16 inches by 14, so it's a bit larger, but that includes the handles. Now the cool thing about the handles is this is easy to pick up when you take it to like a LAN party or whatever, and you know, if you've got enough space in your entertainment center, then it's still a really solid option. Now this particular case does have a little bit more room as well, and you can fit a 240 millimeter radiator, while the CM130 will only support a 120 millimeter radiator. Space for drives include up to you can have a 5.25 inch drive, 5 3.5 inch, or up to 9 2.5 inch drives. Now you can use a Standard ATX PSU in this particular build. I believe the manufacturer specifications list 160 millimeters. However, if you are going to go that route, you definitely want to go with something modular, and if possible 140 millimeters, just because it is a really tight fit. That really goes for any of these small form factor builds. It's always nice to find a nice and compact PSU that isn't too long, so that it's not too squished and jammed in there. Another really good plus of the BitFenix that is overlooked a lot of times is that it's quiet compared to other cases in the category. I'll put a link to an article that talks about that in the description below, as well as articles for all of these cases. So if you guys are in the market and really want to do your research, you can. That's kind of the cool thing about coming here, is that I'm kind of like you guys. I'm just in the market looking for stuff, and I do my research, and I'll put all those articles there to save you time. Again, at under 75 bucks, try to find this around $70. This is a pretty good case for the money, and it looks great too. Okay, another cool case that was just released this year in January is the Corsair 250D. This is the first in the Obsidian series that Corsair has done for the Mini-ITX cases, where they're really trying to allow you to build a gaming rig in such a small form factor case. Unlike the Prodigy, the 250D has plenty of space for a full-size graphics card and an ATX power supply without using modular cables or having to squeeze it in there. This is much more, this reminds me much more of your standard gaming rig. It's the dimensions for it are 14 by 11 by 11.4 or 290 millimeters by 277 millimeters by 351. Now, one thing that I really like about this case is the cable management, and I'll put a couple links in the description below where you guys can go and check that out. But if you're picky about your cable management, then a slightly bigger case like this might be something that that appeals to you. Now, keep in mind that when I say slightly bigger, this is still an extremely small case. I mean, 14 by 11, that is extremely small. That's it's only, I believe it's 11.5 inches tall, so less than a foot tall, a lot smaller than probably your current tower, and well worth a look in the $90 price range if you can find it for that. Again, compared to the others, you get a little more room here, but it also takes a little more space. Okay, the next case on our list is the EVGA Hadron, and this particular case is small. It's only like a foot by a half a foot, or those of you who use millimeters, so this is always tricky for me, 305 millimeters by 169. So again, it's about a foot, now you can see my hands, by a half a foot, very small, but it still can house a relatively large graphics card, 10 inches, up to 10 inches or 267 millimeters in length with a double slot. It can support that. Most GTX 770s fall in this range, and an R9 270X, however, you should look always at the card dimensions from the manufacturer before you buy something like that. One interesting thing about this particular case is that it comes with a power supply. Now, in general, I steer away from cases that have power supplies included simply because they're not the kind of power supply that I want. I want something that's 80 plus, but the particular power supply here is an EVGA Gold Plus certified power supply that has 500 watts. That won't work with every GPU and setup that you do with this particular machine, but it will work with most of the setups that you come across that will be put in a build like this. So that can save you quite a bit of money. That type of power supply is going to cost you anywhere from like, oh, I don't know, $60 to $80. And so add that into the price of the case when you're considering it. I think that this case at the $170 range, where it's retailed, is a little bit expensive. However, right now you can find it on sale for around $130, $140. That might just be something that they do all the time. And if you can find it in that $130 range, it's really a good deal. Think about that. The power supply would normally cost you 60 to 80 bucks, making this particular case, only about $80. So pretty good value overall. It's got an awesome looking window, so you can look in there and see all of your hardware and your compact design. It's got pretty good cable management, and it is definitely worth a look again at around $130 to $140. Okay, so also take a look at the SilverStone Tech GD05B, the USB 3 version. There's also a GD04B. I think that one's just the older version. This case has been around for a long time. It's always been a good option for those looking for a case that fits into your entertainment center just like a receiver would. Good thing about this, you can actually put a micro ATX board in here as well as a Mini-ITX one, so you have the option to do either one. You can get a full size PSU in there and a graphics card that's up to 11 inches long. Okay, so if you have just a little bit more to spend, then check out the Lian Li PC-Q25B. It's a good quality aluminum case, right in that $100 price range. When you think of quality, if you've done system builds in the past, Lian Li is right at the top of the list as far as that's concerned. You'd normally think a case, any case of theirs would cost more than this, but this one doesn't. And it does make a few sacrifices. It's not the best built Lian Li case that I've ever seen. However, it looks pretty dang classy in the front and really has all the features you're looking for. Lian Li is just really good in terms of design and space management. They just do a really good job of building their cases, and this one is no exception. It can house a full-size PSU. However, you probably don't want to go over 140 millimeters in terms of that PSU, and you definitely, I've said this for, I think this is the third time I've said this, but you definitely want a modular power supply in this instance. Anytime you are doing a particular build with an HTPC, you just want to take a little bit more care in terms of sizing out all of your components, just because it's just a little bit harder to fit everything in there. You know, I've had builds in the past where I started with the build and then thought I could fit everything in, but you know, then I'd have to kind of start over and build it a different way just to be able to fit in all the components I purchased, or return something that so that I could get something else that just fits a little better. So again, take a little more time. You guys can ask me any question in the comment section below, and I'll either give you the answer or research the answer to let you know. Another good spot to get a hold of me is facebook.com/TopTenGamer. If I don't respond in the comment section below, that's always a surefire bet, just because that's a good way to get right in front of me. You know, with all of the comments, some of them spam, some of them just reasonable comments, it's hard to keep up on them every day here. But again, at facebook.com/TopTenGamer, I'm pretty much available Monday through Friday. Okay, that's all I have for this particular video. Hopefully you enjoyed it. This is part of many other videos we're going to be doing, the Brandon Buys series, where again, hopefully you guys will get a chance to go and vote. Or if you want me to buy something to review so you guys can take a look at it, just get in contact with me. I might consider it. So I'm always looking for new ideas and new videos. We're going to be building and putting together this HTPC first. This is a follow-up to our Build a PC series in Gaming 2014. If you haven't checked that out, go check it out. And this will be the start for our compact cases, our budget cases that start from $300 to about $700, and then we're going to go up from there. I'm starting to get people now who want me to build the machines for them and then run the tests, and so hopefully we can get some more hands-on information for you, and I know that's always more valuable. Again, hopefully you like this video. I know it got a little bit lengthy, but like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time.